Jonopod. Varga Judith here again, your Hungarian Kiwi, this time with something a little different. This course will be looking at how to actually harvest traditionally using a scythe, that is, using a scythe to harvest wheat, rye, barley or any grain. It's based on the traditional harvesting practices from Eastern Hungary. Now, I'm no expert. In fact, my one foray into doing a bit of scything caused much amusement. But I do have a consultant, and that's my father, who's actually had quite a bit of experience with this as a young man. The course will include live video from a reenactment harvest that we did in 2015, and in that you'll get to see all the jobs from setting the scythe to sharpening it, cutting, gathering the sheaves and stacking it. With the video, sometimes I actually have several people doing the same thing, so you'll see different related techniques for doing various tasks. So arrange the course in what I think is a logical order. There's also highlights from a range of official events we attended. Next, I must introduce you to our kaszáló. And I can see puzzled frowns through your screens. Let me change hats. Kaszá is the Hungarian word for a scythe. In Hungarian sayings, I mentioned how you can add an OL to a noun to make it into a verb. As kaszá ends in a vowel, we just lengthen it to create the verb kaszál, to cut with a scythe. Here's the next trick. If you take a verb and you add a long O or depending on vowel harmony, you then get the agent, the one who scythes, kaszáló. In this case, however, it also means a hayfield, but that's not what I'm talking about here. Let's meet our kaszáló. Our next section will be about Gabor Varga and why I think he can teach you a lot about how to harvest using a scythe. My own agricultural experience is limited. Gabor has a lot more. Gabor grew up in Eastern Hungary, where harvesting with a scythe was just a normal part of life, at least into the late 1950s. Everyone took part in the harvest, and by the time he was 14, he not only had learnt all the jobs associated with the harvest, but with this the help of one younger child, harvested half a hold, which is about a quarter of a hectare. That is, he prepared the ties, cut the grain, gathered and tied it and stacked it. His last manual harvest was when he was 20, 59 years before this video was shot. Ironically, that year he also got the record for the most harvest by a single combine, with over 300 hold. That's about 160 hectares, or 400 acres. What ignited his interest in going back to the old ways was a video he saw on YouTube of a modern harvest using scythes, and he was struck by how much knowledge had been lost. So while in Hungary in 2015, he initiated a hand harvest in his hometown for both fun and a sharing of knowledge. Watching him teaching, it struck me that there was a much wider audience that may be interested in these skills, so I added to the film that I had and created this course. When I say course, take it to mean playlist.
Város valami